Welcome to the How to Adult podcast, where we learn all things adulting. My name is Travis Walker, and I will be your host. And today's topic is all about building a community resource. We've got an incredible guest. Her name is Danielle, and she is doing incredible things for the Beaumont community. But I think that we can all learn something from her story. So get excited and buckle up because we're about to learn how to adult. We are back for another episode of How to Adult. And today we have Danielle from 409 Family. If you don't know about 409 Family, I think you're living under a rock because they're very present in the Beaumont community specifically. But I would love to hear what 409 Family is from your voice. What is 409 Family?
So 409 Family is this conglomerate of kind of like all things Southeast Texas. We want it to be a central hub where people can, whether they've been a long time resident here or they're new to the area, they have a place to come that's kind of central to, hey, what are things to do? What's everything family friendly going on in Southeast Texas?
Yeah, that's super good. That's super good. Before I jump into all of my questions about 409 Family, I'd love to get to know you a little bit better. Is what would you like to share about yourself? And is this what you do full time? I'm curious about that as well.
So I am a lifelong, born and raised here in Southeast Texas. Live in Beaumont and graduated from Lamar University and have an elementary education degree and everything. So I have a teacher background in early
Yeah,
childhood, and I'm raising my three children here now. We took a small stint in West Texas, where my husband's from, and then came back down this way to raise up my kids. And so I kind of in 2016 got to come back and kind of rediscover everything, what had
yeah,
changed, what was new and different. And my family lives here, and I love that I can get to know everything that I didn't know before, kind of a thing. So, um, that's kinda how it evolved into 409 Family, was just being able to, I wanna go and explore and see what there is here, and I learned how to do that by being a transplant in another area and what it's like to be new and grow up in those in or to grow up, learn how to adult
right.
on your own when you've, graduated and moved off, and, that's so now I am partially homeschooling my children. They go to a hybrid classical academy, and so they're at school right now on Mondays and Wednesdays, and then we homeschool on Tuesdays, Thursdays, and now my oldest in 5th grade is also homeschooling on some Fridays. So, it's really nice that 409 Family kind of bends to it's gonna fit our family schedule because that's our priority, and
Yeah.
so it is more of a kind of a part-time. I say it's part-time, but I definitely probably have more full-time hours with it just
Right.
because I'm very passionate about it. I enjoy, getting out in the community and being a part of everything that's going on and how I can best help and support, and it's a kind of a little mantra that my family and I have of "See a need, meet a need," and this is where everything that we do is born out of. So, yeah, being homeschooling's the big thing, and the kids, 3 kids, and,
Yeah,
11 to 5, and so it's a fun age range and keeps me on my toes, and so we
that's
just
incredible.
sprinkle in everything that we can.
Yeah. Yeah. What an awesome life you've built. I think you should be really proud. So, uh, what made you want to start a community resource like 409 Family? Was there a hole in the market that you were trying to fill, or were you building this really for yourself and thought it was something that you should share with the community? Where does this journey begin?
So, for me, it kinda began with my move to Abilene and, you know, growing and starting to my different a lot of different jobs and teaching and all of those things, and then we had our first child, um, and then we moved to near Portland or near Corpus Christi in Portland, and that was when I became a stay-at-home mom for the very first time, and so being away from everything you know, and then, and raising these little human beings. My second was born, like, just a few months before we moved off, and so, uh, I was really inspired by the community that I ended up making there, and so I love that people were so quick to be open, and when you kind of put yourself out there, uh, how rich all of those relationships became in the community that was built. But it takes some effort and work, and I'm pretty introverted. I know that's weird to a lot of people now, because but when I came back, I had a lot of friends that had known me before, and they were kind of shocked to see how open and extroverted I guess I portray myself to be now. But honestly, my kids kinda just pull me out of my comfort zone, and I follow their lead, and,
Yeah.
my oldest is a lot more extroverted, or just at least very courageous and brave, and has a lot of life goals as an
Right.
11-year-old. So, I just kinda follow them, and I like to see what they're interested in and becoming, and so that's what we go along and do, and I think that most families relate to that. And so whenever I was in this area and we moved, it was really hard to leave, um, and we'd only known them for, like, a year, and so I thought that I treasured that. I gleaned a lot of what, I learned from that community, Abilene, Portland, and I just kinda carried it with me, and then I started this group, Blessed Moms of Southeast Texas, on Facebook,
Okay.
and just to kinda reconnect with everyone that I already knew here, and then open the door to all the people that were coming in, that
Yeah.
were like me before. So if they were new, just had, like, a community base, because it's a lot to leave everything you know and not have a support system and be raising up your family, and a lot wanna know, "Hey, who do you recommend for your pediatrician?" Or, "Who's this?" And you want trusted resources and everything. So I just opened up this group, and it was really small and not a big deal. Well, it started to grow over time, and that was in 2016. And
Yeah.
now we're in 24, and there's over 7,000, women in this group, and
Wow.
and so I'm really proud of how that has evolved into, this really safe, genuine community of gracious people. Like, we're not always gonna get it right, and I know, like, it's not your typical mom group where, people are, "This is rash," or, all the different things you wanna ask when you're in the thick of things.
Yeah.
Um I mean, there are some of those things, but it's really relatable. People share what's going on. You have these resources, and essentially, in seeing all of what Blessed Moms was doing, there were a lot of community members within that group that were like, "You need to start a website. You need to monetize this. You're already doing this. You need to," all their advice and their ideas, which is great. But I, again, am introverted, and I was like, I can moderate a group just of ladies just fine. But this is not my wheelhouse. I have a teaching background. I don't know how to create a website and all these different things. And so then came in some friends and people that wanted to help because they saw the value in it. And I love people and community, like, just genuine relationships with people. And so to be able to do something big and start that with friends is like dream come true, right?
Right. Yeah.
So, then my partner Joanna, she started up the website with that, and then it's just, continued nonstop from there. We had gone through COVID together prior to starting 409 Family, and within that time, like, we were writing birthday cards to each other's children, and mailing those off, so they were still getting, like, Happy Mail, doing the little bear hunts around town, and all these different little ways that we could connect. Live story time, like, we'd have the kids and I
Yeah.
would sit a tea time up at the table and read to our, these children on Facebook or and their families. And so, uh, just these little ways that aren't, I didn't feel like they were a big deal. It was just something, if I'm doing it, I know anyone can do it, and it's just every day, these special little memories, but they made an impact on people, and we didn't realize how much until, people just started seeing us out in the wild, I guess,
Yeah.
and coming up and saying, like, "Oh, you do Blessed Moms," or "You're 409 Family. We just moved here, and we needed this information, and, oh,
Yeah.
this has made such a difference, and now I get to do this," and it's just been this ever flowing. It can be hard sometimes to, as much as
Right.
stuff as we do, but, I mean, the reward that's there, and it always goes along with that mantra I talked about earlier of "See any, meet a need," and so it makes it easy to
Yeah.
to love our community well.
That's incredible. What an incredible story, and growing a community. the blessed mom side of things from 0 to 7,000. I think that that's incredibly impressive. So kudos to you. And I'm also interested in the word that you brought up a moment ago, which is monetize, in the sense of, is this purely a resource, or have y'all cracked a formula on how to monetize this and bring in some income while you're providing such tremendous value to so many people in our community?
So, 409 Family is an LLC. I think a lot of people assume it's a nonprofit, and eventually I'd love to have maybe like a foundation, and we have a nonprofit side and a business side to it.
Yeah.
Again, with my background, I'm gonna have to go to like LITs, small business development, all of these things. Like, and I'm a lifelong learner, so I'm ready for it. But
Right.
there are some things that I'm like, oh, I need to start on this because um, I know my weaknesses and or I know there's gaps in things for me personally. And now that my partner has resigned, it is just me and I'm the sole owner of 409 Family. So um, it being an LLC and it is a business, I want to make sure to do fair by everyone that's participating. And we do have these amazing opportunities to be. We do a lot of marketing, obviously, with how much we're in the community, and we've partnered up with Flagship as one of those. I've done trade of services and as well modeling with Apricot Lane Boutique, some boutiques and things like that. But also there's even these community events and nonprofits and any sort of resources or people that we see that are helping in the community. We want to make sure to highlight and support them, and they in turn do for us. And so it's this, again, a conglomerate of people that see a need and are working to meet the needs. And so it happens through marketing. We have advertising on our website, sponsorships of our monthly newsletters to get the word out there to the community of what's going on, how we're participating, what we're doing for everyone, what's new. I volunteer with this Beaumont CVB and kind of made myself the self-proclaimed program director, I guess. Purely volunteer, but of Marsh Minions. And so I do a free story time and craft time there once a month. And so there's all these different ways that we're involved in it. It rolls out really well to, I guess, monetize it. And that's not the goal, but it does help because anything that I earn and I get to pour it right back into the community. And so, so like if I'm working with Flagship, I'm going to go buy their things or use their mailing services, or I find ways to just kind of give it right back.
You've got a heart of gold. I am so impressed with the model and how you utilize it. It's so interesting. And so, but putting a focus on you with this question, in building and growing and maintaining this incredible community resource, how has it impacted your life specifically?
Well, it's definitely grown me beyond my comfort zone. I feel like that constantly happens, but it's a good place to be. Like, I like that I can jump out there and be uncomfortable, and there's always someone out there to meet me. And so I've gotten to meet a lot of amazing people like Kenyon Guidry at Cattail Marsh in his photography and all that he's doing out there. And then Sophia Bowie with Golly and Things and her heart for the community and art and creativity. And there's there's no shortage of people that I get to know and witness and the goodness that they're doing. And so it grows me and it continues to just um, strengthen what we're doing here, and it makes it to where 409 Family is constantly evolving and meeting the needs of the community and not staying stagnant and just sitting in one place like, oh, this is what's comfortable and this is where I need to remain. It's going to constantly move beyond that and into what we value here as a community. And so it becomes more of like a community building rather than a normal business model, I guess, of,
Sure.
not that there's anything wrong with that. It's just not what this is something much more unique, I feel like, and and people have shown that there's a lack, and so that's why we're kind of filling a gap and being a bridge and connecting. And I may not be answering your question now that I
No,
go
it's
back to thinking
perfect.
about
It's
it.
perfect. I love
Okay.
it. And jumping back into 409 Family as an organization, what would you deem as something that y'all been successful at in this journey. What success have you experienced throughout?
So for me, I measure the success by the people, the communication that's given. My goal is to be very transparent and open, and so I look for that feedback, and I'm always met with the encouragement, which I greatly appreciate. But I also hear like, "Here's what's helping," and "Could we do more of this? How can we do this?" And in hearing what the needs, then I get to go out and find the people that are already doing the work. So I'm not starting something new with 409 Family or starting from scratch. I want to highlight and level, put to everyone's eyesight and into focus what's already the good that's already being done here. There are already so many nonprofits. There's already so many amazing businesses and resources and amenities here in Southeast Texas that many don't know about. And I was born and raised here, and there's plenty that I didn't realize until I came and intentionally looked for it. And sometimes when you're in the thick of life and little ones, it's really hard to, kinda elevate your head up out of that survival mode, and and so I'm hoping that this is it seems that I think that's how I'll measure my success, that I've prepared a way that people don't necessarily have to do it all themselves, but they can have me kinda go before them and prepare it and
Yeah.
or give them the tips and tricks so they can enjoy life to the fullest, and I I guess that's it for me.
Yeah, that's incredible. You're an incredible connector. You're connecting people with resources that already exist, right? And an incredible preparer as well. You're not only connecting people to what's going on, you're preparing people's minds and hearts to do it to the fullest of whatever they're going to do. So that is really really good. And so on the flip side of that, talking about success, how do we talk about challenges in this journey? What has been your greatest challenge, or maybe a couple of small ones, whatever you prefer?
I think foremost for any working mom is, balancing family life and work. I as hard as that can be, because I'm kind of a tunnel vision person, and when you put something on my mind, I'm gonna go make sure it gets accomplished, and I don't
Right.
stop until it's done, and that's really hard sometimes for my husband or kids that are waiting for me on things, and, but they're so great and encouraging, and again, the whole purpose of for like, another additive of that is that I get to bring my family along on the journey, and they get to be just as much a part of it as I am, and so my kids are right there beside me, meeting needs, helping in the community, being an integral part of everything going on around them. And the community welcomes them in, and we've made this tribe. And so my children get to be raised in that mentality and in that environment. And it's such a blessing. So while it can be very challenging, to me, it's so much more rewarding and which pushes me forward to keep going on. Another challenge sometimes can be like, the area has been through a lot of things. There's some trust issues of people that have come before and tried to start things up.
Sure.
Um, or they, you know, people have to get to know you and learn your intentions. And sometimes people can be kind of closed off until they have built that trust. And so, um, I'm very grateful and honored that so many have entrusted me and pulled me in quickly or allowed me to participate with them. And so, like Cheryl, from It Takes a Village, she incorporated a bunch of people. She just put a shout out there of, "Hey, I'm gonna do this unity and community thing in the South End. Who wants to join me?" And so I just went and sat at that picnic table and listened, and I just wanna be extra hands, like, "What do you need done?" Again, there's so many good things going on, and there's so much hard work being done, and to just amplify that and give a voice to it and put it on more ears and eyes, uh, it it's an honor to be a part of, and so, again, as challenging as it can be with time constraints and balancing everyday life and, getting to know people, because again, if I'm introverted and
Right.
a little shy or it takes me a minute to warm up, then, that's just me, not you, uh, then I can deal with those challenges. I feel like it hasn't been incredibly difficult to or off-putting. It's been really rewarding, and the challenging to just kinda add to, "Oh, let's keep going."
Yeah. Yeah, that's really good. I'd like to spend a couple of minutes on 409 Day, which is coming up as we're recording this. This is going to be posted after 409 Day. I
Okay.
went last year and it was amazing. My wife and I are talking about going again this year. And so I'd love to hear from your voice on what is 409 Day and why does it exist?
So 409 Day started out as like, hey, let's have a first year anniversary party and just have like a big community picnic together. And then
Yeah,
it evolved into this way
huge.
of like a gift to the community of
Yeah.
let's make sure everything we love about 409 is all in this one day. Everyone can meet up and be together. Um, op- Freely open to everyone, longtime residents, visitors, new to the area, just and small businesses and the nonprofits that are here. Literally every single person in the 409 area code come out to 409 Day. And so we got city proclamations in both Beaumont and Port Arthur last year. And so it's officially the last Saturday of April every year is our now annual 409 Day. So we're doing the second annual 409 Day this year. And I have an amazing committee with me this round, and I'm super pumped. We're working on entertainment and getting that scheduled, and we already have over 40 vendors confirmed for the vendor market and
Wow.
at least 20 family fun booths, and that's going to grow even more very soon. And we just make this and the Kid Zone is fully funded. ExxonMobil is being an amazing sponsor this year for the Kid Zone. We have friends of 409 family like Megan Moss who have donated. And so there's going to be a great petting zoo and just so much more that we can add and incorporate. And people get to come out and get to know everything there is going on in the 409. We'll also have a campaign throughout the entire month of April that if there's something happening that a business or organization has planned, we're going to tell you about it. So, all leading up to it, it's like little teasers almost to the big day. So, if there's a special or a happy hour or a tasting or an event or honestly anything that's customized and tailored to that business that they're going to do, we want to support it and share it with the community. And so, we just kind of continue to grow it and see what people want. And all the entertainment and local talent is local to the 409 area code. We had the Line Steppers there, the Southeast Texas Line Steppers there last year, and they're so fun. I cannot
Yeah.
dance or move to save my life or cover them, but you just can't help to get out there and do it anyway because they're so sweet and fun, and everyone's invited, and you just do everything together. And that's essentially the whole heart of it is let's be together. We're so good at taking care of each other in like emergency situations, hurricanes.
Yeah.
We've been through it all and we've been through a lot. And there's never a time that people have to ask. People see what's going on and they meet you there while you're in the thick of it. But how much better is it if we do that on a daily basis and not just in an emergency situation? And we have
Right.
it within us. And everyone works so hard. And we just want it to be a day where it's light and fun and enjoyable and really just promotes everything we love about the 409.
Yeah. Oh my gosh. I'm very excited. Like I said, I went last year and we're planning on going this year again. And so really cool stuff. It seems like it's going to evolve from last year too. So really, really exciting. Yeah. And so kind of as we start to close out the show, I'm this is kind of just a more broad question in the sense of in the last 10 years, looking back at your last 10 years of life, what are you most proud of?
Oh, um, man, you're asking a mom to remember things. So bear with me a second. Let me
Yeah,
think.
whatever
Um,
sticks out.
I think what the Blessed Moms group has become is probably my proudest moment. Like,
Yeah,
it's such a unique, beautiful community, and it's not me. Like, it's the whole conglomerate of us as a whole, like,
yeah,
who we are together, and, um, there's not a whole lot about just me that I will ever be proud of, because anything that's good in me, I know, like, Christ is in me, and that's what shines the most, and or that's what people are, harking to is that spark that he has. And so I just hope that I'm doing well in elevating all that I've been blessed with and sharing that with others. And I think this group is that of, there's a lot of teaching moments, and we take the time to be gentle and work together through things. And there are hard moments in parenthood, and even if you're not a parent, like they're just local women, and so there's all sorts of different seasons of life there, perspectives, diversity, just everything that comes to the table when you get such a different group together like that, and it's incredibly rewarding, and, it's fun, it's a mess, and I just love it all.
That's amazing. I'm pretty sure my wife's a part of it. So, which totally makes sense. So that's really awesome. You should toot your horn more often, but God is shining very bright through you, and doing some great work. So, as someone who's moved to an area and been the outsider moving in, and somebody who's helped a tremendous amount of people do just that, what's that final piece of advice for somebody that is moving into a new area or is wanting to put together a community resource of some kind? What sticks out in your final piece of advice?
Um, well, you can definitely go to www.409family.com, and we'll be right there to guide you through if you're new to the area or have been here for a while and don't know what to do or what there is to do. And you can always message, and I'll be right there. I can help however best I can. But I feel like my advice is always don't be afraid to step out of your comfort zone. Don't be afraid to ask for help. Um, the worst anyone can do is say no.
Mhm.
And I love it when we finally get a little bit courageous or bold and stop kind of standing in our own way and just put ourselves out there. Because like I said, someone's going to be there to meet you.
Mhm.
You're on that path for a reason, and hopefully I get to cross that path sometime. And there's just so much more out there when we are willing to put ourselves out there and see what we can do for others. And it's incredibly rewarding, as I can testify.
Yes, yes, that is incredible. So you dropped the link 409 Family, and y'all are on Instagram as well and Facebook, right?
Facebook, Instagram, and we have the website. Yes.
Okay, awesome. Y'all got to go check it out. It's an incredible resource. I've used it several times, and will be in your summer directory as well, which is exciting. Uh, so, really good stuff. Go check it out. And if you're still listening, remember, we're going to learn how to adult together. Thank you so much to Danielle for coming on the show and helping us all learn how to adult. What an incredible story. To stay up to date on all things How to Adult, make sure that you follow at How to Adult TW on Instagram and Facebook. And remember, we are going to learn how to adult together. See you next time.